Welcome back, everyone. Best day of the year for rummage sales because it's my favorite one, and I am stoked to be here. It is pouring out. I think it rained last time I was here. Oh, this guy wants me to go. Thank you. Don't even remember where's. Oh, here it is. It's up here. So yeah, town I go, garbage picking in. A lot of things happening in the next 48 hours. Am I really the first person here? I think I am. Now, by being the first person here, you dictate what time everyone else gets out of their car. So yes, I could be that guy and get out of my car and stand there, and I already see a bag out there. Oh my goodness. I guess I'll put my bag out there as well. Put my umbrella down. And we'll start this good old rummage sale day. You guys might remember this church. It looks kind of familiar in some trash picking videos. Because across the house, or across the street, is the person who always throws out good stuff. Like those old tin decorative like toys. There were always some rain lamp, the shells for a rain lamp. Lots of good stuff. Somebody put a garbage bag out there, put my umbrella on it, and that'll be my spot. And I'll come back in here and wait here because right now it's 6:51. And this thing opens at 8 o'clock. So, all right, one person here. Not even 7 o'clock. Not even an hour to go. It is what it is.
The quality isn't the same.
There's another scale on the ground. I guess I'll grab that. It's not good ones, but I'll grab them. There was a step stool somewhere around here. I walked around and it's gone.
Stay, honey. Little girls. Here's a bunch of trees. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Oh yeah, they're
brand new.
Okay. You guys see anything here?
I think that's Emory College. Vintage champion. All right, got a lot of good stuff. Unfortunately, someone else there was buying vintage clothes, so I couldn't get every vintage clothes, which isn't too bad, but You know, it's kind of like a niche market in terms of like rummage sales. Like, a lot of people don't go after the clothes at these rummage sales. They go after the house goods and stuff like that. Vintage Christmas. So it's kind of like, oh, I should probably put this on the side. You know, I can fit it back there. So I got all these stuff for donations back here as well. It's on my donation pile. It's got some weight to it. Kind of grabbed what I could grab. And then like I grabbed scrap metal at the end, like aluminum and some copper pieces, just because I still had space. The yard sale across the street. We'll walk over here.
Now, and we're trying to do a pickup service too, so that we will do it, and then you can literally come and pick it up for your friends.
So all letters look like this. They're all in this box. All right, nothing over there. So we'll be moving on with the day. Probably do one more yard sale, and then I'll do a recap. All right, so here's the other yard sale. It says moving sale. See some trucks parked up there, some cars. I am about an hour late after they started. Probably, considering it's a moving sale, they probably had people here early, so 7:30, but we'll see if we can grab anything here. They did have this advertised in a ton of places, I know that. So it's going to be kind of hard to kind of find some great treasure, as you might call it. I don't want to park that guy's spot. I guess I don't know what's going on here. Oh, geez. Looks like there's... Alright, it's too dark in there to film, but I got a couple things so far. I'm going to go back in. Alright, so I did grab some things. I'll show you guys in a bit. It's, prices there were really out of whack for some things. The tools were just so overpriced. He has a toolbox down there with a whole bunch of rusty tools in it. He wants $35 for it. And there's probably 10 bucks in tools out of it. So I'm going to pass on that. I asked him about a couple other things, and it was like, he has a hedge trimmer right here. He wants $25 for a hedge trimmer. I wasn't going to buy it, but that's what he wants for it. And you go to any auction in the United States, and you can buy a hedge trimmer for under $5 at an auction. So prices were just out of whack for everything except for like the housewares. So I left. I did grab a couple cool things, and I'll show you guys in a bit. But I know they have another sale tomorrow, so it's a 2-day sale. However, since things are so high, I don't think he'll be reasonable in terms of negotiating. Like, if he wanted 15 bucks for that, I'm pretty sure I can knock him down to 10 or get another toolbox, 2 for 20. But it's hard to negotiate when people are just so out of the ball game. You don't want to lowball them and insult them. So we made it home. Here's the recap of what I grabbed today. So this was in the free pile at that yard sale. It's club aluminum, but from personal experience, I've just noticed from this aluminum stuff, especially pots, if they don't have the lid, and sometimes even if they had the lid, just scrap them. So rather than this being garbage, I decided to grab it. It was free, so this is probably like, I don't know, 60 cents in scrap. So that's not too bad. I do like to recycle. I did pick up all these mason jars. See right here, all blue glass jars, $5. So there's 6 here. 5 of these are the pint size, which is generally more desirable than this one, which is the quart. And these are all the older ones. It doesn't have the trademark on the right side, which would indicate that it's a reproduction. So these are all the older original blue mason jars, and they are clean. I know from personal experience, you throw a lid on these are like $3 to $5 a piece for the smaller ones. On the bigger ones, so I'm going to take this lid off because this is actually decreasing the value on this because people are going to think this is a reproduction, even though it is not, because it has a newer lid, so this is not the right lid for that. So that's kind of my experience with these. So there's maybe $15, $20 right here. So for $5, I figured it was a no-brainer. Grab this one tray. Valley Forge beer, I never heard of it. It's in Norristown, so it's not too far from here. It was $1. It's in a little rough shape, but I think for an entry-level collector, I think somebody would want to buy it. And I grabbed 2 things of Pyrex. So these were on the dollar table, which is really, really hard to find. I was at a rummage sale yesterday, and they had, it wasn't this one. It was very, it might have been this one. They had one, and it was $10 for one yellow refrigerator set. Even though I feel like it was probably like a lower one, but it was probably this one. It was yellow. It was $10. This was only $1. That one's in decent shape. I'd rate this probably a 9 out of 10. That black spots on the bottom do come off. And then I think this is a lasagna tray. Orange lasagna tray. I probably come across one lasagna tray or Space Saver every 6 to 8 months in my searches, whether it be at an auction or a thrift store, in the wild, not at the flea market. I would say I come across one of these once every 6 to 8 months. So these things are pretty valuable. I don't know off the top of my head what they're worth. This doesn't have a pattern, so it's not too desirable, but it's hard to come across those. And here's the big bag of stuff that I got. So we'll empty this thing out. As tradition, we always go through it on the floor. So let's keep with it. So here's the treasure trove of stuff that I got. Now I grabbed pretty much everything that I thought I could make some money off of, and then kind of towards the end I was like, you know, I still have some space. I'm going to just throw scrap metal in here. But there were a couple of these, so we'll probably find the other one. This is a vintage or antique, probably a vintage hanger, wood hanger. They had these at the end, so when you were checking out, she was like, oh, any of these are free. So I took out the ones that advertisement. I think there's 2, so there should be another one. This one is the Hotel of the Caribbean. So these do sell well at the flea market. They sell everywhere. They sell on eBay. That is one thing that's pretty sought after. We got some flea market items here, so that guy is pretty good. Some scrap metal. Some more scrap metal. So that's aluminum ware. Some of it, that thing's broken, I think. There is some other stuff. So we did grab the scales. 2 scales. This is awesome. Uncle Sam's 3-coin register bank. To open here, press at 000. Made in Korea. So I think this is an antique or at least vintage. I don't know how you... Holds $50, open every $10, register nickels, dimes, quarters only. Do not oil. So how do you open it? It says something about opening at 000. We got a dime that just fell out. Alright, so I think I figured it out. So I gotta get this to 000 and then I gotta press here. I kinda like a lock. There we go. 000. We press there. Ooh, it does open. How does this? There's got to be a way that you take all, because this thing is heavy. Like there's probably $4 in there, I think, unless they're all pennies. But anyway, we're pulling out nickels, dimes, all sorts of stuff. So you got free money with this awesome bank. So yeah, oh, here's the other guy. So this one is the Barbizon Plaza, New York City. But you got some sweatshirts. So you got Harvard. This guy, this is Furman. We got another Furman. Penn State. This nice vintage San Francisco 49ers sweatshirt. So it's probably early 90s, I bet. It doesn't have a date on it, but that's awesome as well. T-shirts, this old champion shirt. We got a Brooks Brothers sweater, which I don't do really well with Brooks Brothers, but I think I want to bring this to the flea market, see what happens there. Brooks Brothers is a brand that a lot of people talk about selling very well, and I just haven't sold it at all. We have a Pinehurst, Penn State, and a Bucknell sweatshirt. So that's the clothing. I got a Christmas festive sweater. I grabbed these scarves because sometimes at the flea market they do sell, and there was like a whole box there, and I just took out the ones that were kind of colorful. Hopefully somebody will buy them at the flea market. That's not something that really, and they're lights, that's why I kind of grabbed them. I got this vintage ashtray, which I think is in brass. So that might end up being scrap metal. I got some silver plate. Some more of these, or I don't know if they're scarves, they're probably handkerchiefs. Fabric. This Pokemon hat. Some more silver plate. Some die cast. Got some tools as well. Some insulated copper, some sheet copper. This nice vintage guest book. I think if you like the vintage look and like this kind of stuff, this is awesome. Made by the Gibson Company. So you got some more silver plates, some more scrap aluminum, some tools, some brass. Got this guy, thought he was kind of cool. I don't know if he's worth any money, but he'll sell at the flea market for sure. Bucket truck. This LA Los Angeles Kings beanie, Star Wars beanie, probably for like Star Wars night. Didn't really know if there's any value to it, but Star Wars collectors like stuff. Sometimes these promotional giveaway things are very, very valuable, especially bobbleheads. Like minor league bobbleheads for like certain professional players are sometimes really sought after, and you'll be surprised. You know, you'll really be surprised. It sometimes pays it just to buy a ticket, just to get the bobblehead. And minor league baseball is very cheap. It's usually like 10 bucks a ticket. So we got a drill here. This wood duck. He's pretty cool. Some more aluminum, hammer, all these Craftsman wrenches, plane, some more silver plate, some more wrenches, Whitney Houston, Rick Astley. This guy's Michael Jackson, so those are good, some tools. And then this is probably like the best piece, I think. It's a cleaver. It did have a name on it. I'll have to see where it is. There it is. Can't really read it. It's like Forstner or something. Sometimes cleavers are worth a ton of money on eBay. I've seen them sell upwards of $100, 80, 100, 120. So those are some things that I kind of try to really get after, is the cleavers. But it was a fun day. We got a lot of stuff. I did want to grab some more stuff at that yard sale, but unfortunately the prices just weren't for me. The nice thing about the rummage sale is like one of those sweatshirts is going to pay for my whole tab, regardless of, you know, all this other stuff I got. I know one of those sweatshirts I'll get 20 or 25 for. So it was fun. I know also at the rummage sale they did have some vintage Nintendo stuff. They had a vintage Nintendo Game Boy, and I asked them how much did they want for it, and they said $30. It sells for $145 on eBay. And I pulled out my phone and I looked at my phone and it said that it sold for like $35, $40 for it. So never ever listen to anyone, especially if they start talking about eBay. And they were definitely a couple that did talk a lot about eBay in terms of their prices. Oh, I looked that up. It was selling for such and such. I'm asking that. I try to stay away from that strategy, and I try to stay away from those kind of people as much as I can, because when things feel researched, it's a lot harder to get a deal, and it's a lot harder to enjoy the treasure hunt aspect of it, which is why I like rummage sales a lot more than, you know, yard sales and flea markets and stuff like that. But hopefully you guys did enjoy it. If you did, if you want to see more treasure hunts just like this, definitely subscribe, smack that like button. Until next time, have a great day. Keep living a dream. Peace.